Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, for another edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. Now, what am I trying to get done in 301 days? I'm trying to get a brand new book written in real time, right in front of your very eyes, every single night for 301 consecutive days. That's right, and that's exactly what I've been doing successfully for 255 consecutive days so far, and I've only got 46 days left to get this book done. So I better get cracking on it. In fact, I better get writing on it, editing it, proofreading it, all that stuff right away. And I'm going to do that by showing you how I'm doing it. And the first part of that is showing you Scrivener. This is Scrivener right here, this application that I'm using to write the book. It's got a big window here where you do the writing, and then over here on the side you've got all the chapters or sections in the book. And you can see right now I'm working on one about Mike Allton, who I've had on my Nonfiction Brand podcast. In fact, his first episode aired today. Today's Monday, right? Yeah, today's Monday. Whew. It premiered today. So Mike Allton's first of 2 episodes premiered today at 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and you can get it right now simply by going to wherever you get fine podcasts for free and searching for Nonfiction Brand and looking for my picture in black and white associated with the words Nonfiction Brand, exactly like that. And that's the cover art for the podcast. So if you see that, you know you got the right thing. Anyway, so I'm writing about Mike Allton, and I pulled a pretty lengthy quote, or actually a couple of them, from the episode that premiered today. And as you can see, they're all in. Whenever I put long extended quotes from the podcast into the book, I give it italics to kind of indicate that. As you can see, big quote here. And another big quote here. And each one of them is in there because they're telling he's expressing a couple of different things that I wanted to make sure were covered in the book. And he said it very eloquently. So I want to use his credibility and his authority and share that information via his voice. So this first part is about how he focuses specifically on blogging, primarily, not exclusively, but primarily. And it's about getting stuff done and getting stuff written. So how do you do it? By focusing not just on a form, primarily blogging, but a handful of specific topics that are absolutely core to who he is, not only as a professional, but as a human and being. In other words, there is no distance between who he is and what he writes about. And he can write as quickly as he does. Everything he writes about because everything he writes about, he knows at a DNA level. Just listen to Mike explain his modus operandi. Explain his just listen, Mike. His very own. Just take a look at how Mike explains it in very own words. Got a minute. Page website. You appear to think it's significant too, because it's actually in bold type. I'll read it aloud. Represent. Content rabbit magically out of a hat. Semicolon. He's tapping into interests, experience, and professional expertise. That's a really good question, young Mars Bars. I think you need to seek professional. Just say. He's tapping into his interests, experience, and professional expertise. What's really notable he's found his natural habitat logging. And necessary to identify identify his key topics. Then sticks to them religiously. Specialization is a superpower. Talked together about this idea in episode number 117. Podcast. Be a jack of all trades. To be whole lot weaker. Be master of one. Mike and I talked about this. Talked about this. Jack. The whole lot. Doing he's setting audience expectation about what they can expect. They can anticipate seeing at various websites. Blogging root. Root.com. Let's make sure that's what it's called. Root.com. Mike's only interest and expertise limited to the online delivery of written word. But this site is other major website, social media at social. No thanks, I don't use Facebook. Yeah, that's kind of true. I don't like Facebook. Media at guess what is other major is about that works. Mike already made it super easy to for even new visitors to Mike has already set visitors' expectations about who he is, what he does, and how he does it in the URL of site. That's powerful. That's powerful stuff. Little confusion about the name and URL of the site. That's powerful. Efficient stuff. There can be little confusion about regarding cover and where is T's line. I think I wrote about it. I have to look it up. Let's see. What would it be under? Too many people in an effort be cute, funny, sassy, or just to hide themselves. Use some kind of obscure name or inside joke. Too many people in an effort to be cute, funny, sassy. Too many. Another thing, these very direct but slightly intriguing site names do is create a conversation starter. Enough there. In sewed (118). I asked Mike about his media service consultancy, the media hat based on the name. I knew what its primary topic, its primary focus would be, but the hat art was just a bit of a puzzle that I just had to know more about. you can listen to the whole episode to hear Mike's explanation. My in that his company name is both both obvious and peaks. That is company name is both obvious to focus, but leaves a little to imagination, or more importantly, conversation. I knew what he was. Here, Mike's full explanation, but my interest lies in the fact that his company name is both obvious as to focus, while and intriguing while leaving a little to imagination. Your man. Leaving a little to your imagination, or more importantly, conversation. Frankly, I don't know how you could hear his company name, his company's name, and not ask more about it. I think of such marketing this subtly brilliant marketing strategy in this subtly brilliant marketing strategy. I like the first date. I gotta come up with a function. First date. First date. Oh, gotta look up dictionary. corollary. Look up consequence. First state in effect. When done correctly. State inevitably means second needs when done correct. So on until it creates, it culminates. An engaging relation. The other thing these very direct but slightly intriguing, intriguing site names do is create a conversation starter. How about create conversation? A nonfiction brand podcast. I asked Mike about his social media service consultancy, the social media. Based on the name, I knew what its primary focus would be, but the hat part was just a little bit of a puzzle that I just had to know more about. You can listen to the whole episode to hear Mike's full explanation, but my interest lies in the fact that his company name is both obvious as to focus, while leaving a little to the imagination, and more importantly, conversation. More importantly, conversation. Frankly, I don't know how you could hear his company's name and not ask more about it. This subtly brilliant strategy I like to call the first date effect. When done correctly, the first date inevitably leads to a second, and so on, which leads to a third, and so on until it culminates. Things culminate with till culminate with an engaging relationship. Mike's and superpowers. From my point of view, Mike's twin superpowers are focus and strategic simplicity. He's interesting guy. Whole lot to share. He keeps sharing. tightly focused. Focus. What's another word for focused? Focus. Tightly. Constant. Handful. Topics that he knows so well that writing 2000 blog post walk. That's I think this is probably the moral of Mike's story here. From my point of view, Mike's twin superpowers are focus and strategic simplicity. He's an interesting guy with a whole lot to share, but he keeps that sharing tightly concentrated on a handful of topics that he knows so well that writing a 2,000-word blog post is more like a walk in the park. And that's how he can maintain a social media presence that both serves his audience without burning self out. And then I also need to do the listen to, if you'd like to hear more, citation from Mike Allton, 117. of the Nonfiction Brand podcast. Kind of digging that. Ooh, yeah, I got his photo. Let's get his photo in here. Right. I've got to open up guest photos. Alton. And here's his headshot. It's pretty big. Yeah, it's big. Let's see, do a dupe of that. I'm going to make it grayscale. Do a quick and dirty just color on this. Oh, where's the just color? Where's my color adjusting tool? There it is. I am going to take all the saturation out because this is going to be a black and white or a grayscale book. And I'll make it a little bit more contrasty. And also, I'm going to crop it. That's almost perfectly square. Yeah. Save. W. Quit. And drag and drop it. Because Scrivener's cool, because you can drag it right in. And then I'm going to size this down just a little bit to, I think 200 is what. And I can also make changes to it later, but at least it gets it in there. Hey, Mike Allton. There you go. Okay. So, no, this is about focus and strategic. So, strategic. Strategic simplicity and alterable. Oh, it's like disciplined. It's discipline. Back to focus. Well defined, clear, out of focus, distinct, sharp, crisp. Discipline. So strategic simplicity. Painstaking, rigorous. 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 Rigorous sucks. That sucks. Persistent, tenacious, tenacious. Tenacious is better than rigorous. Persistent, persistent, constant, studious, earnest. Ridiculous. Strategic and I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it, which means I need to sleep on it. That's like a niche. How do they, N-I-C-A-G? We don't put a niche on. Niche. Like coding. All right. Cool. So I've kind of reached a little bit of an obstacle, but that's okay. It's to be expected. And I could force my way through it, but I'm not going to because I don't want to burn myself out. I still have 46 days left to go in this. So instead, I'm going to leave this for tonight and come back tomorrow because the thing I learned a long time ago as a young writer was don't force it at night when you come back the next day and are fresh and can solve it in the first 15 minutes of the day. I did learn that all the way back in Chicago at DDB Needham. Thank you for that. That was the only lesson I learned from that place. Did I say that aloud? Yeah, I did. Anyway, I'm DP Knudten, and I'm done for tonight. Check out the Nonfiction Brand podcast. A new episode just launched today, number 117, featuring Mike Allton, who I've been writing about all night tonight. Very cool episode, very cool guy. Learn more about him and see what that's all about. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts for free. Just search for Nonfiction Brand, look for my photo and the words Nonfiction Brand right next to my head, and you'll know you're at the right place because that is the album or cover art for the podcast. That's it for me tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, same general time, but until then, theme music, take us on out.